Inside Story Uganda, real source of political updates. Inside Story Uganda.
Luno omukuku na Joseph
Tamale Mirundi. Kyaba somera mu katabo kano. Nti omukulembeze kasale mu kwata ku nakwata ebisubi. N'atakwata kwoli yennyini. Oyo.
N'atakwata ku kinyusi.
N'atakwata ku kinyusi. Sanzu yagamba. There is a time when a general should call over the heads of his friends. Sanzu akugamba nti yali mu lutalo. Sanzu yawandika katabo The Art of War emyaka 35 BC nga Yesu anazaliwa. It was translated into English from Chinese in 1977. When the American generals read through it, they said, had we read this book, we wouldn't have been defeated in Vietnam. Sanzu yagamba situation yali tasubira supplies nga talina mmere nenga amaze okufuna intelligence reports tebagenda mulumba. Naita twice away. I'm going to why? I have credible information we are going to attack us. Na going to rozaba abo bana alwana. Omazina kusete bali ya mmere. Ati basubira supplies. Rozaba na alwana.
Abaserikale
tukole kintu dduke. Nti ate batasobola kulwana okudduka ku basobola. Kati Sanzu ali mu tent. Jeno Swanzu ne twice we. Namuga nti lend me your head. Ono teyategera kya mugambi. Njezeka ku mutwe we. Namuga ngukuwate. Sanzu nagutemako n'ekitala. Naguteeka mu olujja lwa barracks. Nabuga tugende ku lutalo. Bagamba nti bw'olaba akutte ku twice we.
Namutta.
Fenna jatutta. This is where we say there comes a time when a leader must borrow the heads of his friends. Oba relatives oba baaki. The moment a government or a business ebeeramu omuntu gwotasobola kukwatako kifudde. Nakuga nti nze nkolera ku Lwabukyokyo Siyole. Lwabukyokyo ali musajja wewaffe. Waffe ku kyalo. Lwabukyokyo nazaala we yajja ewaka. Ffe Abaganda tetwagala bannazaala baffe kubeera waka.
Lwaki?
No. Kyobulabe Abaganda bagamba ti ebibi tebyeŋŋanaŋŋana okwenda ku nnyoko yenda ku nazaalawo. They want to chase their nazaala zaabwe. Kubanga tomulabako tomutunulako tokola kyakubuzaako ki?
Akubuzaako emirembe.
Era bakugamba Abaganda nti omukomo mwavu amera amayembe. Lwaki? Bw'osinkana ne nazaala wasoose okulaba munne yadduka.
Kweka mu kabira.
No bamugamba nga Gomesi eriko sere nti omuka abadde antomedde. Omukomo mwavu amera ki? Atomera nazaala we. Kakati ate ffe abalina zirumamyo mirundi 1 mirundi 2 nazaala wo omuvuga. Mu bugaga mu motoka temuli buko.
Mu motoka temuba buko.
Obuko bukwata ku mwavu. N'Uganda yakyawo obwo. Obwolo ni bubi, obwolo nimbwa, obwolo ni bubi. Nabano bubayimba. Obwolo ni bubi, obwolo nimbwa, obwolo ni bubi, obwolo nimbwa. Tuvula baba feze buli wamu. Tebagala bwolo. No Muganda tayagala bwolo. Neffe tukola bukozi. The difference is that for you snatch, for us
you work.
Erono bakuga nti Abaganda abana baboogera singamba kubako bwali duka bwati talina wajja kudduka. Kakati nkugamba ekyokubiri, there is a time when the president must stop his own government.
Soko inde najesuulira.
Yes.
Najewambira.
Yes, Fujimori Peru yawamba government na baba minister bonna mukomera. Yes. Kakati what are you going to do? What will Museveni do? We have a running case of organs. Is he going to include those ministers abayina tainted. If today abateka mu government kuli international criminal court nena osinga amanya, they will say a minister in Museveni's government can he cut off his councillor's leg. This is the main issue, not swearing.
Chogamba kati ali mu kiseera kizibu.
Yes.
Mbalekewo mbaweeyo
ngenda kasoma wana akantu kange nkugamba nti Moi sacked a Kamba who was a commander of the army, Major General Mulinge, Joseph Mulinge. He sacked Joseph Kariuki, the Kikuyu, and replaced he was a commander of the Air Force, and appointed General Muhammad Muhammad, a Somali. Because at times there are people who think that they are a neutral tribe. Tino kuleta omunozana. Tuleta omunozana gwe tunafuga. Abanozana bali babadde oyo gundi oyo. Okimanyi nti olanya goba wano olwaleero. Yaliko jobless. Wanasi yakola akakiiko. Akaka mutala kazayo butale kuba basajja balaba. Basajja balaba ne bamuwala naki. Olanya committee. Isolanya Newman. Nayembo ejogo. Mujoge. Amalala gakulemberwa kigwo. Amalala gemuyina mutwe. What you want to protect, you lose it. Means sitya kufa. Sitya. Galileo yagamba papa nti ensi yetoloola. Namuganda kanako nti tujjukira papa oba Galileo.
Galileo kubanga kyatuukirira. Paul
II had to apologize on behalf of the Catholic Church for killing who?
Galileo.
Bamatters olwaleero bemusinza. They buried against Mwanga. Wirukufa. Eri jogo lya muzimuyina mutwe. You use 10 billion nakabira bamuwa 5 billion. Kati ono musajja we nakawa bamuwande 5 billion ya buli mbaka wa parliament. You are stupid. If you can buy lwacha naba yekuba perfume. It means that Kataga is formidable. Ejogo lya muzio namujja kulisa sula. Aba kulisifyinga Jesus bo yabaga nti nedde kibakola mwe mukimanyi mwankuba n'ekyemba koze emyaka 8 temuyinza na kulinya wange banyondo n'enkwasa omutwe. You will hear them talking rubbish. Vomiting on their shoes. Nkugamba, this was a big political blunder by sacking, by removing Kataga and others like Moi did. This was a very big blunder because Kenyan politics is based on ethnicity, where political opponents are regarded as tribal representatives. Unless I hear from the contrary, I have heard that they Chabazinga shunned your activities. Echo tikibategeeza musajja gwe nakawa ne sente zoyina bakumma mu kalulu gwe bali mwezo. Why don't you sort out this man? Mukbembizi ndala duke. Nimbagamba. Although the Somalis, the Northerners, you are now falling into bed now. Although the Somalis were loyal to Moi as an individual, the decision alienated him from other tribes, such as the Kamba, who had earlier dominated the army, and the police force. Moi's decision to pamper the Somalis encouraged many Somalis to leave their troubled country, Somalia, to settle in Kenya. Kenyans have lived to pay a heavy price for this mistake. These are Northerners, our brothers. It is a game. Yono mulenzi alowooza okunya ku mitwe gy'abantu n'abanyalako. Gwange gwakulema toli kunyalako. Gwange kuliko abagufuga. Moi went further and established torture chambers in Kenya. The couple others were extradited from Tanzania back to Kenya, charged with treason and executed. This was intended to send a strong warning to the military. Moi had earlier been regarded as a strong Christian who could not sign a death warrant. He also amended the Kenyan constitution to declare Kenya a de facto single-party state. In 1963, Kenyatta had forced Kadu to join the ruling KANU party, but preserved the constitutional provision that maintained a multi-party democracy in Kenya. More like the earlier mentioned examples, thought that he was undermining his political enemies and consolidating his political base. This also backfired. Those who were not members of KANU could not participate in politics. The other group that had been the opposition joined the KANU and demolished it from within. For example, Raila Odinga joined the KANU because his Secretary General, Joseph Okamoso, once Moise anointed Moyagoba Secretary General. Yali amukoledde nnyo, like they are fighting Kadaga. Joseph Okamoso. N'aleeta Raila Odinga. Bajita Obote yagoba Kakonge n'aleeta Grace Ibengera bawangalawo. Ono yatategeera nti mumuleese kumukozesa. Can you use me as a spare parts? Nga bwe mutwala abaana babannamu ebweru ne mbakozesa nga spare parts. Teri muntu musiru ku nsi. For example, mulaba obuwala buno bwe muleeta ku house girl. Kasakasule walungi ne kabeera bulungi ne kakola ki nga katandika okukola kafunya akabina baagala okukabba kati abalala naffe we tubeera mu trade union batugamba a manager cannot join a trade union. You come when you know what you are going to get. Yes, kati kuba akatambi.
Okay.
Kuba akatambi ako.
That is very important. Among other things, we talked about the media. And the media is a very important tool. Currently, the greatest dominant in the media is Tamale Mirundi, who operates solo. We should find a solution to that. He either comes to us or we influence him to be very silent, using money. Money is a tool, is a global language, is a global tuner of emotions. So we can handle that. We should become a political project which is not focusing at breeding anyone, which should never ever think of eliminating anyone off the surface of the earth. So we need to look at all of this. And most importantly, we should know that whatever we need can be accessed. We should always build capacity. We should always build the means to get what we want at any cost. But we should always operate at minimum cost. Any cost should not take us to lavish spending, because we don't have the funds. But I know from the diplomatic body we can lobby and get funders, because they're always there as long as there is a deal to cut for them. This is Africa, still the land, very virgin of minerals, very virgin, and blessed with a lot of resources. So it simply takes and calls for negotiations, business negotiations, political business. It's the order of the day. So that is my submission for now. I thank you very much. So Chairman, there you are. Thank you very much. My boss, I'm very blessed to hear that from you. It has been about 13 minutes of unprecedented and interrupted submission, and it has been very key. I first of all thank you for having me back to the position of the chairman to yet another well-focused, well-directed, well-built political fellowship. I'm very worried that we split because of certain challenges. And we are rebuilding the same fellowship with a different objective, having not solved the previous challenges that led to our breakup. I'm very blessed to say that. I'm sorry for that. I'm very honored to request you for a drastic action that can help us set us the pillars on which this political fellowship should stand. It is a very important session, and I know, looking at all angles, examining all objectives, and putting all perspectives in a prospective vision, we have to do something. The previous challenge, almost a year ago, came from Tamale, who deliberately decided to split it up and destroy it. We don't need an abortion. We don't need a miscarriage to be disbanded at the creation stage, when we really have a very large mission, a very important mission to take on. Currently, we have to think about how to rank ourselves. And our ranks should come in terms of safety, efficiency, and the mission execution. Short of that, we shall be a gambling fellowship, a gambling team. So to begin with, we have a very powerful challenge called Tamale. And the last time I talked to his friend, Uncle Sam, who deliberately chose to restructure the mental cycle of Tamale through gifting and all of that, things I'm not well conversant about. He told me he was in motion to handle that. Something which hasn't materialized, possibly because he has been a very busy man. Only to notify you that wherever there are challenges, especially from the international community, the diplomatic body, he becomes the solo role, the solo player to try to calm down or to make the situation understood clearly. And that is the current task he's taking on. He's a man who is frequently making phone calls, calling for emergency meetings with his colleagues, mainly from the diplomatic bodies, the coup diplomatique. And it is very consistent. He's very consistent on that. He's trying to negotiate the way out to make sure currently the EU Parliament does not set sanctions on us, the United Kingdom, the United States and allies, because those moves are going to have us isolated, and the foundation of our regime is going to collapse. That is inevitably right. Now, not to mention but a few, we also have a court case. Some of us, of course, not all of you members, but we are about 32 people. And when you look at all of these people, the previous fellowship has about 15 of us, which means, and moreover key players, which means that if this project has to materialize, we should have a proper perspective on how to solve this court issue regarding the human trafficking and the human organ trade. Now, if that one is sorted out, then we shall have a brilliant future to set a new political foundation. Of course, as the previous speaker said, that we have a rotting system which is collapsing slowly. And as it collapses, it is creating a political vacuum. And the nature of has a political vacuum, because every political vacuum means violence. It creates space for violence. It creates violence for atrocities. It creates space for it creates space for atrocities. It creates opportunity for opportunists to take course. That is very important. At the future, to set a new political foundation. Of course, as the previous speaker said, that we have a rotting system which is collapsing slowly. And as it collapses, it is creating a political vacuum. And the nature of has a political vacuum, because every political vacuum means violence. It creates space for violence. It creates violence for atrocities. It creates space for it creates space for atrocities. It creates opportunity for opportunists to take course.
Batudde mu Kampala baagala kusuula Museveni bo badduke baagala kuteekawo channels to negotiate with it. Bw'owulira nti Kagame tazaabo be babirimu nagaye nti ekizibu kya Museveni kiri wano naye balowooza mbufu Abaganda tuli basiru bemuvumye ne mutujooga ne mutugoba mu mataka kati mutwe bajagalirako kuba mayiga ngenda mugoba emmengo. I'm going to usurp the powers of the Katikiro of Uganda. Which seek my Uganda never know. Bagala Kusura Museveni, Chovara, my Gavanja. Ovanja she. Better was the America Duke. Tewari Muganda, Gumugenda, Kujoga one. Temuso Paulo Munga Chigazako Chirema. I know all of those people are involved. I know them. We can take money to him. As later, nja kumukuba omutayimbo omutwe mutte. Jeno, Afende, why didn't you consider me important when I was still in the government? You thought I was a madman. Ate obusiru bwabwe bagambye mbugano majini ke gabakwata. Yesterday nabakotte buli kintu yonna kimukola nakyo kotte kati eyo tepo eyo giraba eringa a week ago. Ekitegeeza endala zonna nziyina. Kakati mukamba buulire omukazi bw'aba ayina omusajja amukwata ng'amuleepinga buleepinzi kiba tekikyamugasa kwambala mpale nika amwanguyize kati mmwe ne bwe mwekweka ne bwemulagawa omanyi kye byakoze omanyi ebisajja byekye byakoze byaguze ekizimbe ne bireeta abayisirayiri ne bakifuula voice proof ne bikifuula waterproof ne bikifuula byonna mbubitulenga mu byogere nga tewali abiraba ngenda mulagirirayo ngenda gamuzeeyi mugaye nti ekizimbe kiri wali mu kifuula museum oyo chairman w'Nakawa oyo ayogera chairman w'Nakawa has admitted they are facing a case with the International Criminal Court of killing people and extracting their organs. How can you produce a leader? How can a person who is involved, who has been indicted, alowooza okufuga eggwanga kiba kitegeeza temujja tufulade mujja ne tukwatira ku street baba bangi abantu 4,000 Nankabira yawandiikanga abaana baliwa kyobola Nankabira is digitally kuba kadanga do it nti babagulewo diplomatic channels mmwe akugambye nti 15 of our members are indicted. How can the European Union, how can the American government, which funds ICC work with you? You are doomed. You are doomed. Attention in any video. You know, Babantu Ban, whatever Duka, whatever chairman, what Duka Nakawa, what Duka. Oh, you want to change a Kufuga Gwangari. That younger man will never. How can you rule a country while against you? Yali mu ministry yonna yali mu nyama yali mu education bakibenge yabakozesa yali buli wamu wonna bamuyita lubambyesi oyo mwana muyita lubambyesi yagambye oyo I can let us identify a person who can nentegeera mulenzi gwenti sentence zo bazirese omutayimbo mu mutwe nezitwale waffe mu nsozi n'ogweddalo oyo mwana musuula eddalo you chase me from state house ngompita mbwa ne bagamba n'ekyo ekisajja ekyo nti what we do tufune ku baserikale betu lipolisingeko omu amukube essasi ate naye bamutte they did it badde ku baserikale bange omu ne bamugamba nti ali retired and I protested baleeta omulala ankube essasi captured
wabitegeera
bakoze bubi kantu yepusi mwekali atukyabula yidda kika kandonye kantu yepusi wekali.
Thank you, previous speakers. What should I say? I'm happy to get back again. and to have at least a clear vision for our mission. It is a blessing. Amidst these challenges, we cannot give up, because through challenges, we develop thick skin. And by having a thick skin, makes us able to go through a viscous environment. We are able to face the challenges and defeat them precisely and decisively. So here we are. We are looking, we are gazing at a developing political vacuum. We know it will not go down well, because the SFC is going to step up all efforts to see that, and actually His Excellency is going to do more and more and more things to express to the domestics that he is totally in charge and does not care one jot what the foreigners have to say about this, and does not care about what the International Criminal Court says, and does not care what the sanctions become or turn Uganda into. But the reality is very different. It would be very good if it was a communist regime where the state is totally in charge of everything. But we have a large magnitude of opposition forces. We have a large populace of disgruntled people, even in the security services. So what does that imply? That everything will be interpreted as an acting. We shall not be the Venezuela, we shall not be the Cuba. We are going to be totally a different country. So these sanctions and all that which comes with it is going to energize the opposition here in Uganda. So if we don't create this project and make it very important, it is going to be dissolved. It is going to be overwhelmed and drowned by the population. We have a large count of unemployed youth, and those getting to the youth stage who are overcoming the teenage age at 18, 19s, and the 20s. There are really a lot of them who are charging against this government. All of those are going to be celebrating. So it will be very hard for this regime to act for the outside and also the inside. That simply means he will cross borders, control the media further, and then the death might not stop. But again, no matter what is being done, good or bad, the political vacuum is going to grow bigger until it becomes enormous. So if there is not already a political project, and even if the opposition is there and they cannot organize themselves, just like in Sudan, the regime was weakened, but as Bashir, later when the civil society came in, plus the civilians, still the military council took over. And its survivability was dependent on turning away from Bashir. So it is the same thing. Even if NRM took power after Museveni, the first thing the NRM will do is to get rid of Museveni. I think that is very clear.
Right. Tamale. Abo batuddewa. Right. Abo batuddewa. Kyembuuza. Abo batuddewa. Genda ku Google labo bamala obuze bagaabwe tebagamanyi. Oba chairman bali mwezo tamumanyi. Genda obuze bali mwezo. Wenakawo oba chairman tamumanyi. Are we going to wait for chaos? Are we going to wait these people to overthrow the government when we are watching? We have also a stake in this government. If the president does not act and arrest those plotters, we also have a stake. The most important aspect we have here, as Baganda bebajoga about a condom, the Museveni Baganda Baganda Baja Kulaba, we have the capital. What's the capital? Banajitwala Chikalama. Gana Gata Gabiarimana. Kaligalo was antikataba abagundi bonna. Abatus. Tigaja kuona. Killing us will not help. If the president does not arrest those people, these voices are known, I have both recorded video and audio. Fortunately, my records are sent to the president.
Ani asindikayo? Miso.
Abubo natubamanyi. Naye chairman yakwatibwe. Chairman bali mweza amumanyi. Chairman yakobwe ku kyalo. Chairman yakutte 5 billion yagulaba baka bajjeko kadaga. Chairman wa fellowship eno gye baataddewo. Mbubaba feeling virtue. Mwe mugaggawadde. You've made this government unpopular. Mubya amata mubya ennyama. Oyo talibeerako president wa Uganda gumutembeeya. Talibeerako. Tukunga abantu bano nadduka n'obujozi bwe bwonna nadduka. Talina political base. If he offers himself as president, I will support Kony.
Gatunzi Tamale Mirundi.
Sente zimwagala okuleeta wange njaba bamba betente. Nti ako Sam Tamale Mirundi. Yes, ndina kibadugude. Kwa hiyo taina kutesa tasola kuprotinga to overthrow Museveni.
Kati kigwera wa kino kyo.
Bajja baba batirewa. Like Okero, like Paulo Muwanga. Omulenza jakuduka. Wali wa muwaka. Yeah! Wali wa naye
wenano imba abolimba
wakanda bagendo mudu emisindo oyo ajoze ensi yonna nani abantu kumitwe n'abanyalako na desert house najifula amakage you plot continue plotting we are also planning kill one person it will spark of what you do unexpected results
ngatusibula okuva
the president should move in and arrest these fellows. He knows them. They are not far from State House. If they can connive, the Museveni has become a political liability. Who has made Museveni a political liability?
Omuntu heyakala irayinza okuba liability Tamale.
Sebebo bibogera. Muboba dukete mujja kudduka. Mubadde mu kyoto musesezza amasiga mugumolu fulu bokeremu. Bali mwezo omusajja omumanyi. Bali mwezo chairman omumanyi.
Tusibule Tamale.
Tusokere naka wa chairman yagobwe ku kyalo. Bali mwezo tuzo olukiiko chairman yagobwe ku kyalo. Chairman mumumanyi. Bali mwezo kuba ku buntu bono butepu bwaffe wedda ensetegere chairman ya.
Naye akasembayo Tamale. Emyaka 5 gino tusuubire ki? President
Uganda nkogambye nze mbamanyi byonna bye bapulaninga. The person they want to install is unpopular. They want to run away. Museveni will handle them. If Museveni does not handle them, we shall uproot Mayiga. Mayiga is their agent. They pressurize Museveni. Mayiga demands money. Mayiga tugenda kumuwamba. Mayiga agere ku mukolo gwa Kabaka avume ku Museveni wajja okoma.
Mubeere bulungi.
Mayiga wajja okoma.